And pin my video. Make sure it's pinned. All righty. Okay, and we'll start seated. And so you're gonna allow your legs to cross comfortably, taking our seat as we usually do, finding the length in the spine, relaxing the shoulders. If you'd like, you can keep your eyes open, just softly gazing onto a point in the room or on the floor. Or you can close your eyes altogether and just start to gather your attention and turn it inward. Let your hands rest comfortably so that your shoulders can relax. And then let's begin by bringing our attention to the places where we're touching the ground. Just take a moment to notice the way your body is seated on the earth. And get acquainted with the way that gravity brings you closer to the earth, feeling that gravitational pull creates a bit of heaviness in the body, maybe a feeling of rock solid steadiness. Notice the way that your clothes feel on your body and the temperature of the air as it touches your face. Now begin to notice your breathing. And as you notice your breathing, I'd like you to follow the breath wherever it goes in your body. Notice where you feel it. Is it in the belly? Is it in the ribs? The chest? The shoulders? The neck? Maybe it's just there right at the nose and the upper lip. Just spend a few moments observing your breathing. Now let's take a moment to layer in an intention for our practice this evening. I thought it would be nice to have an intention around the heart center. And so I'd like you to silently repeat to yourself as if it's like a whisper, just a whisper in the back of your mind. Peaceful, compassionate heart. Peaceful, compassionate heart. Peaceful, compassionate heart. And as you let this phrase, this affirmation scroll through the mind in a soft way, like in the way that clouds pass through the sky, like a whisper, just gently contemplate that meaning and what that means to you. Just allowing any spontaneous thoughts and ideas to come to mind. Peaceful, compassionate heart. And I'd like you to just gently bring your attention to your heart center now. And take a hand, place it right over your heart. And then allow your other hand to eclipse right over on the top. So allowing both hands to rest right at the heart. And then I want you to just take a nice deep breath in, as if you could breathe right into your heart center. And then sigh the breath out. And maybe add a little audio sound if it feels comfortable. A little gentle audio to the sigh. Let's do that 2 more times, breathing in. And sighing it out. And as you do this 1 more time, let the exhale help you to relax your facial muscles, your shoulders, relaxing your body. And then you can allow your eyes to open up and release your palms. And we're just going to start with some gentle shoulder rolls. And so letting your shoulders start to circle around in one direction. And then we'll reverse and let our shoulders circle around in the opposite direction. Good. And then let's let the shoulders relax down. And I'd like you to just go ahead and switch the cross of your legs. Just bringing the opposite shin bone in front and finding your seat once again. And then from here, I'd like you to take your right hand and place it onto your left shoulder. And just let your right arm get nice and heavy. So it's kind of helping to relax this left shoulder down away from the ear. And then you're going to let your head drop to the right. So you're starting to invite in a nice little stretch into the neck here. I want you to just hang out here for a few breaths. Just allowing your attention to be on your breathing, attention to be on sensation you feel in your body. Just paying attention in a loving and kind way. And you're going to lift your head back up, release your right hand down, and then we'll go ahead and just do this treatment to the other side. We're going to allow the left arm to be heavy, let the right shoulder relax, and then drop your head over towards the left and just hang out here for a few breaths. We're going to lift the head back up, release the hands. And then I'd like you to take an inhale and sweep your arms out to the side and up. And as you exhale, you're going to turn to your right, just a passive twist. Inhale back through center, arms up, and exhale to the left. We're going to go back and forth a few times. Inhale up. And exhale to the right. Inhale through center. And exhale to the left. Let's do that 1 more time on each side. Coming through center. We'll join our palms together at our heart. Exhale everything. Beautiful. Well, let's make our way into our hands and our knees now. I just want you to go ahead and turn over, come right onto the hands and the knees. Bringing your palms right underneath your shoulders, your knees right underneath your hips. On your next inhale, I'd like you to lift your head, lift your heart, lift your tailbone, just opening your chest towards the front of the room. And as you exhale, you're gonna round your spine. Push the earth away. Drop the head, drop the tailbone. Good. Let's go through that a few more times. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, round. Beautiful. Good. Just starting to warm your spine up. Get some movement in the body. Connect the breath. Find a little bit of flow in the heart center. Okay, and now I want you to come on back to center, back to a nice neutral spine. And I want you to imagine that you could zip the midline up from the pubic bone all the way to the lower ribs. So you're feeling nice and engaged in your abdominal muscles. You're going to stretch your left leg back behind you and keep the toes on the earth for just a moment. And then take your right arm out in front of you and karate chop the earth with the pinky side of the hand. So you've got your pinky and your toes on the ground. Now from here, I want you to inhale and lift the left leg, lift the right arm, and try to stay super still in your center. As you exhale, tap the toes and the fingers down onto the earth. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, tap it down. And I'd like you to do 3 more like that, 5 total. Let it be more about quality of movement than quantity. And when you get to the 5th one, you're gonna hold. You stay with the breath here. Just notice the natural toggle that happens as we find our balance. Good. And now go ahead and release. That was beautiful. And I want you to sit your hips back into child's pose and just take a brief rest. Let your 2 big toes touch. Your knees come just a little wider than the hips if that feels okay. And then let your wrists relax, your elbows, your shoulders. Just breathe. Good. And now come on up to tabletop pose. And we're going to do the next side. We're going to extend the right leg back behind us, the left arm out, karate chopping the pinky to the floor, zipping up from pubic bone to low ribs, nice, strong, steady center. And then inhale, we lift and reach. Exhale, tapping it down. Good, 4 more just like that. Beautiful. Good. Those look really good. Rock solid, steady. Mm-hmm. When you get to that 5th one, you're gonna hold and breathe. And just stay with it. Good, nice work. As you're ready to, make your way into your child's pose and just take a rest for a moment. Okay. We call this breaking the pose. Just allowing the body a moment of respite in between all the effort. We find some ease and just cultivate balance. Okay, now come on up to tabletop again. And I'd like you to bring your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And I'm going to walk you through an interesting little sequence where we're gonna piece together 3 different movements into a little mini sequence called a vinyasa. Okay, so when you have your knees underneath your hips, as you do now, okay, I want you to just kind of wrap your awareness around the shape of your legs right now. We could call this a 90-90 bend. You've got a 90-degree bend at your hips and a 90-degree bend at your knees. So as we move through this practice, two of the postures, I'm going to challenge you to keep this shape in your legs, the 90-90 bend. Okay, so the first posture we're going to learn is one that I call the hovering tabletop pose. It's really great for building strength here and strength in our legs. Okay, so I want you to curl your toes under. Keep your hands under your shoulders. You're going to find that feeling of being real zipped up in your midline. And then you're going to hover your knees away from the earth, just an inch or so, maybe not even an inch. Okay, and your challenge here is to stay strong in your center. Good. And then go ahead and let your knees come down and rest for a moment. And then I want you to try that again one more time. Just getting a feel for the hovering tabletop pose. Good. Okay, nice. And then go ahead and let your knees come down. Okay, now the next pose is a bent-legged downward facing dog position. So when we go into down dog, a lot of times we go into it, most of the time, and we just right away straighten our legs. So for this bent-legged downward dog position, the challenge here is going to be for you to keep the 90-degree bend in your hips and your knees. So as you lift your knees up, walk your hands back so they're under your shoulders. You're going to keep them right there. I want you to let your knees come up, come into the hovering tabletop. And now push the earth away. Let your hips go up, but don't straighten your knees. Yes, that's it. So you'll feel your ribs move towards the tops of your thighs. That's it. And now keep the 90-degree bend in the knees as you come forward. Shift your shoulders over your wrists, back to hovering tabletop position. Yeah. And then let your knees come down. Good. Now from here, you're going to let your hips shift back into child's pose. Okay, we're going to take a brief rest, and that's going to be our third posture. Okay, so the child's pose is going to allow for you to find a little bit of rest in between the movements. Okay, so let's piece it all together. I want you to come back to tabletop. And now you're breathing as you move through this. We're going to go through this as many times as we can. Okay? It's a really strong practice. I want you to go to a point where, maybe we do 3, maybe you do 5 rounds. And I want you to practice and let your breath flow in a way that feels most natural to you. Okay? All right. So go ahead and lift your knees as you're ready. And use your breath as you push back into the bent-legged down dog. Good. Coming forward, pause in the tabletop hovering position, and then let the hips go back. Good. Coming forward, hover. See if you can stay here for a moment, and then shift back. Good. See if you can stay there for a moment, finding a little bit of pause in between each posture, just for presence. Nice, and then shift it back. Good. The quality of movement comes when we start to slow things down. And we just allow ourselves to really feel what we're feeling moment to moment. Nice work. Good. Right. So I get the sense that now is a good time to rest. Are we going for one more? Go for it. Go for it. Nice. Good. It's a pretty powerful practice. Nice work. Nice. Yes, I told you. Alrighty, so now I want you to come into a down dog and just give your legs a little stretch. Okay, so your favorite, however you want to do the down dog. Let this be a moment to release, stretch, let the legs relax. Good. And just breathe. Nice. Okay, now we're going to stretch those quadriceps. Okay, so I want you to come forward, tabletop position. Okay, let your knees come down. And you're going to step your right foot forward and then come up to a low lunge. Okay, good. Now once you're here, just make sure that your feet are the distance of the hips and let your left knee come down to the earth. That's it. And then I want you to shift your body weight forward and just take a nice little stretch into the front of your left thigh. Good. Okay, take a couple of breaths here, just breathing, pushing down through the length of your right shin bone. And then go ahead and bring your hands to the earth. And you're now going to straighten through your back leg. Okay, you're going to come into a high lunge. Good. I want you to stay on the ball of your back foot and then come up to crescent pose. Reach your arms up. Nice. Good. Now walk your right foot to the right a little bit if you need some extra stability. If we go a little wider, we can find a little balance here. Good. Just stay here and breathe. Now, if it feels comfortable too, you can let your front knee bend a little bit more. It's going to be a lot more work for the legs. Good. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale and go ahead and let your palms come down to the earth. You're going to step your right leg back, come to plank position, top of a push-up. Let your shoulders float forward. There we go. And then bend your elbows, lower down to the earth. Nice and slow. Beautiful. Okay, now point your toes. Press the tops of your feet down. And on your next inhale, come into a back bend of choice. It can be a cobra pose. Nice. Good. And as you lift the chest, squeeze the glutes and reach down through the legs. Think of really grounding down through the lower half of the body. Good. Take another deep breath in. And then on your next breath out, release from cobra pose and make your way into a downward facing dog. Beautiful. Feel free to move around here in any way you want that would feel good. Perfect. Now, go ahead and come down. Let your knees come to the earth. And you're going to step your left foot forward now. Okay, so we're starting with a low lunge. Making your way up here. And I like to take my hands to the top of the thigh and then just push down into the thigh. Keep the chest lifted. And then let your hips shift forward. So you're enjoying a little stretch here in the front of your right thigh, your hip flexor. Make sure you feel toned and zipped up through your midline. So you're engaging your abdominals, that front abdominal wall, nice and strong. Good, take another deep breath here. You might think of pushing down through the length of your back shin bone. And then let your hips shift back. You're going to bring your hands down to the earth. And now we're setting up for crescent pose. So you're going to lift your back knee. Stay on the ball of your back foot and then rise up, finding your balance here. And stay here and breathe. Good. Nice strong legs, strong body, open heart, peaceful heart, passionate heart. Go ahead and release your hands down. You're going to step your left leg back. Hands to the earth. Sorry, that was a terrible cue. Hands to the earth and then left leg back. Good, thank you. And then we're going to come forward, shoulders over wrists. lowering down to the earth, and then coming into your backwards bend of choice here, either cobra pose or a nice upward facing dog. Good. And then feel free to hang out here again and just enjoy your practice. Just enjoy your practice. Good. Now, as you're ready to, you're gonna make your way back into a downward facing dog, using your breath, taking your time. Beautiful. All right, now come on down to your knees. And I'd like you to swing your legs around and come onto the bum. You're gonna let your feet come out in front of you. You're gonna plant your feet onto the earth. I want you to imagine that you've just grown some roots into your feet, so they're as rooted and stamped into the earth as possible here, like someone super glued them. You're gonna bring your arms out in front of you and sit up as tall as you can to start. Relax your shoulders back and down. And then I want you to round your spine. So let your tailbone curl under. Let your chin come to your chest, and you're gonna roll down as slowly as you can. And the feet will want to lift, and if they do, that's okay, but try and push them down as best you can. Okay, so slow like molasses in January. And then once you're down, you're gonna let your arms come up, and go ahead and straighten your legs, and just take a nice big stretch here on your back. Okay, reaching through your toes, reaching through your arms, taking a nice big breath in. And then exhale. Okay, now go ahead and bring your arms down. And you're gonna bend your knees, okay, placing your feet onto the floor. And now we're gonna go into a bridge practice. So I want you to make sure your feet are a comfortable distance apart, about the distance of the hips, maybe a little wider. Your arms will come down by your sides, and you're gonna let your shoulders relax. Okay, feel your shoulder blades on your back and gently relaxed. And now remember that feeling of being zipped up in your midline? I want you to find that here. Okay? Squeeze the belly muscles in. And then go ahead and push down into your feet. Lift your hips up, squeeze your glutes, and stay nice and strong in your front abdominal area. And then lower down nice and slow, but don't lose that engagement of your core. Okay, so once your hips hit the ground, stay zipped up, and then lift your hips again. Okay, so this is important here. Okay, for where we're doing some work here to build strength in your back body, and also keep your abdominals working and strong. Okay, I want you to do 10 of these, really mindful movements. Okay, let your breath flow in a natural way. You don't have to control your breathing at all. Just let it be natural. And keep your attention on not losing that abdominal front abdominal wall as you do your bridges. And these are much different than the yoga bridge. Your shoulder blades are apart here. They don't have to be tucked under. Your focus right now is strengthening your legs and strengthening your glutes, and staying nice and strong in your front abdominal wall the whole time that you're doing this exercise. Okay, so you're doing 10. And once you get to the 10, if you're not completely fatigued, I want you to try and hold the 10th bridge. If you're completely fatigued, don't worry about it today. We'll work our way up to that. Good work. Keep going. Good, nice. Good. See if you can hold and breathe. Good. Nice. And then once you're ready to, when you're ready to release, and you feel that fatigue, and then let yourself come all the way down. Nice. Letting your hips relax now. You can let your abdominals relax now. Everything relax. Letting your legs soften, your glutes, belly muscles, shoulders, arms, neck, cheeks are relaxed. And now from here, you're going to bring your right knee in. We're going to give our hips a little stretch. So right knee in. You're going to place the ankle onto the left leg. We're setting up for thread the needle. So I want you to smooth your right knee out to the side, smoothing that inner thigh into an open position. Flex your right foot. And then lift your left foot away from the ground and start to bring your legs closer to your body. When you feel a little stretch happening in the outside of your right hip, and I want you to just pause and be right where you feel the stretch. Try not to go deeper than that. Just try and be right where you start to feel the stretch, and then relax and breathe. And just be right there. So holding this here for about 30 seconds. And now I want you to keep your legs in that figure 4 position, but let your left foot come back down and just rest for a moment. And keeping the right foot right where it's at. Okay, and you're going to do that 2 more times. So when you're ready, bring your legs in towards your chest and stretch your right hip. Okay, remember, just go to where you feel the stretch. Try not to go deeper than that. Just try and be right where you feel it, and that's it. And then go ahead and set the left foot down and just rest for a moment. Just coming out of the stretch. And then you're going to do that one more time. And sometimes it's interesting just to kind of notice, you repeat the same thing a few times, and then each time you can just kind of observe and notice if anything has changed. And then we're going to release. And I want you to bring your right knee in toward your body and just hold on to the knee for a moment. Just letting the leg settle in a neutral position. And then go ahead and set that right foot down. We're going to do this on the left side now. Three stretches. Left knee comes in, left foot to the right thigh, flex the foot, smooth that inner left thigh away from you. And then as you're ready to, you're going to pick up the right foot and let the legs come closer to the body. Pay attention to when you feel the stretch. And we're going to hold for 30 seconds. And while we're holding, we can allow our attention to be on the breath, or we can allow our attention to be on the sensation in the body, just observing what we're feeling, what we're experiencing, without trying to judge it in any way, without trying to attach a story or a narrative, but just allowing it to be what it is. And we're going to set the right foot down and take a break, letting the leg relax for a moment. And then we'll go ahead and do that again. Holding for 30 seconds. And then releasing. And relaxing for a moment. And then as you're ready, one more time. And then release. The left knee, let's bring it into the chest for single knee to chest. And just pause, just letting the legs settle for a moment. And then let's go ahead and set both feet back down to the earth. And I want you to stretch your legs out long again. Bring your arms up again and just enjoy a nice big full body stretch. And point your toes, flex your feet, reach nice and long. And then bring your arms down. We're going to bend our knees. And we're going to come up to a seat. And we're going to move into our meditation practice. So last couple of weeks, we've been learning how to observe our breathing. Okay, we've been using that practice as a way to train our minds to be here, to be in the moment. And so the last few times we've sat together, I've shared with you one tip for what we can do when we experience thoughts while we're sitting and observing our breath. And so I'd like us to continue that. We're gonna sit and we're going to spend time just observing the breathing for about, we'll practice for 5 minutes this evening. And, you know, as we're breathing, we might notice that thoughts will come, and that, you know, really great tip for when that happens is to just ask ourselves, is the thought important? And the answer will either be yes or no. If it's not important, let's let it go. If it is, we'll promise to come back to it later and set it aside for the time being. Now, the next little piece of advice that's been very helpful for me as I do this practice is to invite an attitude of friendliness to your practice. It's very challenging to sit and to sometimes be with a practice and to feel like we are not doing it right, or to worry if we are you know, ever going to be able to sit and just, you know, enjoy the practice. We can sometimes judge our experience very harshly. And so if we can invite in a bit of friendliness to the practice and just almost treat it as if it's a guest in your home. We can often have a much more peaceful, kinder experience as we practice and as we become better at the art of mindfulness. And so I'm going to do this practice with you. We'll go ahead and set our timer. And we'll practice for 5 minutes. So making yourself comfortable, letting your hands relax, shoulders soft, closing our eyes, and here we go. So take your time as you gently let your eyes open. Just coming back into the space, and I want you to feel free to move in any way that would feel good here. You want to take your arms up. Maybe you want to enjoy a little stretch or a little twist. Just moving in any way here that would kind of bring you back. And then I want you to go ahead and straighten your legs out in front. Coming into staff pose. You're going to flex your feet and spread your toes and sit up nice and tall. And take our arms up, taking a big breath in. And as you exhale, go ahead and fold over your legs, coming into a seated forward fold. Let your arms come down, your hands land wherever they want to. Let your head drop and just take a moment to sink in here to a sweet little forward fold. Just releasing the back, releasing the head. When you're here, I want you to just relax your stomach, relax your abdominal muscles, relax your shoulders. Moose is helping you. He's giving you all the kisses, saying, "Let it go, Dad. Just let it go." Aww. Now, he is a great teacher of a peaceful, compassionate heart. Isn't he? Our dog's just such a blessing in that way. I mean, they teach us so much about unconditional love. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and lie down now into Shavasana. So I want you to make yourself comfortable. Okay, you can place a blanket underneath the head. If you happen to have a couple of pillows or a bolster and you would like to support your legs, make yourself as comfortable as you can. Really nurture yourself right now. Give yourself the luxury of just resting. And we're going to move into our final meditation tonight, which is our practice for compassion, metta in Pali. In the language of Pali, the word metta means compassion. And it's loving kindness. In Sanskrit, in the ancient language of Sanskrit, the word is maitri. It means the same thing, compassion. And these two practices that we've looked at tonight, the practice of awareness, just bringing the attention into the body, and now the practice of compassion, are two key practices of mindfulness that really help us in so many ways, really help us and give us the tools we need to navigate our lives, no matter how choppy the waters are. So I just want you to take a nice deep breath in and just imagine that your breath is moving from your feet all the way up to your head. And as you exhale, send your breath from your head all the way down to your feet. And really let yourself relax. Just letting go of any tension in the body. And now I want you to bring an image of Moose to your mind, your puppy dog. And just picture him right now at his very happiest. And just see the look on his face when he looks at you with those deep, universal eyes. wells of love, deep, unconditional love that he sees for you. And as you allow yourself to receive the love that he gives you every day, start to feel the way your body responds. Feel how warm the body gets. Notice the sensation you get in your heart, that feeling of friendliness. Maybe there's a smile at the corners of the mouth, allowing a smile in the back of the throat, maybe a smile in the corner of the eyes. And as you let this beautiful feeling of unconditional love warm your body and warm your heart, keeping that picture, that image of moose in your mind, let there be this whisper of metta. Just repeating this silently to yourself as you picture moose. May you be happy. Sending moose some well wishes right now. May you, moose, be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe and protected. May you be free from suffering and pain. May you always be happy and peaceful in your heart. May you experience joy. Your heart opens more, I'd like to invite you now to take that kindness and that beautiful love that you feel and give it to yourself now. Just whispering, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe and protected. May I be free from suffering and pain. May I experience joy. May I be happy and peaceful in my heart. And as you allow your heart to open, may you invite yourself now to expand that heart of yours and allow images of family, friends, loved ones come to mind. Anybody that you want to send this loving and kind and compassionate message to, that you want to send your love to. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be free from suffering and pain. May they be protected. May they experience joy, peaceful, happy hearts. You have now connected to the energetic power of the whole compassionate heart. Your whole compassionate, loving, and kind heart. This practice you can do anytime. You can share it with your friends. You can change the words to suit your needs, to suit whoever you want to send this message to. And taking a nice deep breath in and then sighing the breath out. We'll go ahead and hug our knees into our chest. Give ourselves a big squeeze. And send some gratitude towards our beautiful body. Very capable, beautiful body. A vessel carries everything in it that is you. And joining me now in a comfortable seated position with your palms together at your heart. We'll close our practice with an Om. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Namaste.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, my friend. It's always a pleasure to see you each week.
Same here. That felt really, really good. Needed it.
Good, yay. How do those bridges feel?
Really good. Really good.
Yeah, and how about the thread the needle stretches, the 3 in a row? Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, not my favorite, but it does a job.
Do you feel a lot of tightness when you stretch those in the thread the needle?
Yeah, I do. A lot in the groin and in the hip flexors. Yeah.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More towards the front, the hip flexors.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm weird. I don't hurt where you're supposed to.
Not weird at all. Not weird at all. Pain is a very interesting thing. I don't understand it entirely, but I find it fascinating how it works. There's a whole science about it, and lots of people studying pain science, and so.
Well, you have yourself a great night, and thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. I'll see you soon. Have
Okay.
a wonderful night, and give Moose a big hug for me.
I will.
Good night.
Good night.